What's going on, amazing fans? What's going on, New York Football Giants fans? It's the coach here, Coach Ed Gladney, and this is Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports. I want to talk a little bit about our New York Football Giants and their victory over the Baltimore Ravens, 24-20. Yes, there's a lot of back and forth about different factors. Um, we got lucky. Baltimore, made too many mistakes. The penalties with Baltimore, that's all part of the game, ladies and gentlemen. That's all part of the games. Because if it had been the other way around, many of you would be killing our New York Football Giants. But what I want to do is go a little bit, just a little bit in depth into this, into some of the things that I looked at in terms of the numbers, um, even the drives. It's very interesting to me. And these are some things that in my own coaching style, I always look at. I look at many different variables. So to get a true indication of, how the game was going for myself, for the team I'm coaching, the opposition, just to get a good feel of how I can adjust going forward in the future. Now, number one, the numbers right now for the Giants. Daniel Jones was 19 for 27, 173 yards, two touchdowns, zero interceptions. So that's efficiency. I mean, he's at a 70.3 completion percentage. That's very efficient. Other than the fumble, the strip fumble at the end of the second quarter, where he was trying to make a play with 8 seconds left in the half to try and get the ball downfield, that you can, if you want to be critical, I understand, but that's pushing it for me, because he's trying to make a play because there was no time pretty much left in the half, and he's trying to get the ball downfield to score as best he can. So overall, he was very efficient in his game plan. Saquon Barkley, 22 for 83, one touchdown, a 3.77 per yard carry. So Baltimore did step up to try and shut him down, but as you see, he's consistently putting up 70, 80, over 100 yards a game. So, which is why he's one of the top backs in the league. In terms of receiving, I'm going to highlight the two rookies because they're the ones that scored the touchdown. Daniel Bellinger, 5 receptions for 38 yards, one touchdown, a 7.6 per reception average out of five targets. And Wandale Robinson, 3 receptions for 37 yards, one touchdown, 12.3 per reception out of four targets. So these guys contributed. It's not stats that would blow you away, but they were factors. They contributed into the offense's production. Defensively, I'm going to highlight four players. These were the leading tacklers. Xavier McKinney with 9 tackles, total tackles, 5 solo. Fabian Moreau, 8 tackles, 8 solo. Dane Belton, 6 tackles, 5 solo. Julian Love, 5 tackles, 3 solo with one interception. So defensively, they were flying around. They were making plays. Now you can argue that's on the back end of the ball. Dane Belton plays a little hybrid, so he's close to the line. I did see McKinney on the times, and even Love lining up close to the line. So they were mixing it up. They were pretty much, in the linebacker level to the deep third. So it's an all-around type of a situation. Would I like linebackers making more tackles in some situation? Yes, but Baltimore's offense is very intriguing. It's hard to defend with a lot of eye candy, as they were talking in the broadcast. With a lot of movement, a lot of motions. Getting you going one way and then having the ball go the other way. So that's something that I do take into consideration on how difficult their offense is. And also, you have one of the elite quarterbacks in Lamar Jackson. Every team would pretty much, most teams, I would say a good 90% of the teams in this league would like to have a player of his talent and his caliber leading their offense. So, that I commend the defense for what they did. Now, this next section I definitely want to talk about because, to me, it shows the ebb and flow of the game, but the importance of many different things within the context of the game. Now, offensively, we had 10 offensive drives. Two of them were at the end of the half, like the half or the game. The first one was at right before halftime, 8 seconds, where we tried to make a play. Daniel Jones had the fumble. Okay. And the last one was the victory to kneel the game. So to me, those are two that, they're there, but I don't highlight those. Of the other eight, again, 8 drives. Of those 8 drives, we scored on 4 of those. So we're scoring on 50% of the drives that we have, true drives within the context of the game. That's something that, many people do not look at. They don't put those into the stats. But as a coach, I've always put that into the stats. I've looked at your drives. Where did it start from? How long did the drive go for? Did it result in the score? Things of that nature. Now if you said we had 10 drives and only 2 scores out of the 10 drives, then you know what? That's a bad situation. But to score basically on 50% of your true drives, that's good offensive production. Defensively, the Baltimore had 9 offensive drives. So defensively, we had 9 defensive drives. They scored on 4 of those and had 1 missed field goal. So defensively, they did have, 5 opportunities to really score and only capitalizing on 4 of them. Now, one of the big factors is in the fourth quarter, they had 2 drives, and those 2 drives resulted in turnovers. And one of those turnovers led to the game winning score while the other ended the game. That speaks to the defense stepping up. Yes, they did what they did early in the game, but in the fourth quarter, they stepped up and they closed the game out for this team. So those are some things that, as fans, I know most of you don't take into account, but you need to start looking at those factors. Go into the drives, not only the time of possessions, but the true scoring opportunities, because those are important. As a coach, that's something that I always factor into, how the game was going when I break down and I go over the stats and I look at the film, all of that. So just something that I wanted to put on the table for, all the Giants fans out there to take a look at and to really consider. So thanks, everyone. Now, if you're new to my channel, do me a favor, subscribe and share on all your social media platforms. And everyone, like, share, and make sure you hit the notifications so you all know when I do post new content. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show that I'm talking about. Thanks to the Big Blue Crew for always being so positive and being true New York Football Giants fans, not the, those who are just jumping on because of the wins, but you're there through thick and thin, and you're very supportive and positive. So, and if you don't know who the Big Blue Crew is, you better jump in and you better find out, because all the members of the Big Blue Crew, we truly love our team and we're very supportive, and we bring you good quality content and information on all aspects of sports, but especially on our New York Football Giants. So that's pretty much it for today. I want to thank you again for tuning in. And like I always say in sports, make sure you turn it on and turn it up. Have a good night.